That's it. You good?
Yes. All right, go.
They're here! They're here! Ah! Come on, come on, come on.
Fuck! Shit!
Where are you?
Just a second! Hold on! They're down!
Okay, I'm pushing up.
Yeah, copy.
Clear.
Clear. Up there!
Yalla! Come on!
Down! Move!
Clear.
Clear. Fuck! Contact!
Enemy down!
Fuck! Hey, MG!
Fuck! Window! He's in the window!
I know! I fucking know! Christ!
Grenade!
Oh, shit! Hey, ready?
Yeah.
I'm with you. They're here!
Fuck!
Enemy! Enemy!
Check out my website at karmakut.com to see system specs, donation links, and latest uploads all in one place. You can also get cool rewards like Karmakut patches and key tags on my Patreon. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell button for future uploads. Hello everyone, today's video is going to be talking about Insurgency Sandstorm and my first impressions. I actually got to play it during E3, so we got to play Insurgency Sandstorm and record and edit all that footage. That's going to be going up a little bit later. I'm still weighing on a couple edits and things to finish out, but for right now, in this video, what you've seen is the E3 release trailer that they've sent out, as well as some B-roll footage that we managed to capture as well. So, we're going to be talking about my first impressions, what I thought, what I noticed was different, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first things first that I like to talk about, of course, are graphics and sound. So for first off, it's on the Unreal Engine 4, which is an updated engine. Insurgency and Dave Infamy previously were on the Source engine. We have now upgraded to a current generation engine, and you can tell the difference. The graphics, the performance, the visual effects, the physics, you can all see these kinds of things have been upgraded. When you shoot glass, it shatters. The effects are stunning. You have vehicles now, you have all these other things that have now become available with the Unreal Engine 4. So big update as far as engine, and you can really tell through the gameplay. Graphically, like I said before, it's stunning. It looks like a current generation game now that we've upgraded from the Source engine. Performance, the rigs that they had us on were a little bit interesting. We weren't able to like run them on our own rigs. These were the rigs that they had at the show. So they were a little bit, there's a lot of input lag, but that's mainly because of the hardware that was on site. I don't think that had anything to do with Insurgency Sandstorm itself. So as soon as we get that on our rigs and I can record and upload footage on my own rig and tweak the settings how I want to tweak them and use my own hardware, I can give you a more accurate assessment of performance. But as far as I can tell, it ran pretty well. 60 frames recording. We had, I think 8 people playing at a time, maybe 16. No, definitely not 16. But we had about 8 people, I think, going per round, and it was co-op versus AI, and we'll get into the gameplay a little bit after this. But as far as performance is concerned, there were no major glaring bugs or issues as far as that. So the next thing I want to talk about is the sound. As you can expect, they're doing an amazing job with the sound. Everything sounds just like how it sounds. The A10 gun run sounds like that. The bombing runs and everything like this, the smoke mortars, they all sound great. The RPGs, the gunfire, and even the voices. They've added a lot. This is one thing that I really did pick up on, was because New World is really heavy on their voiceovers and their voice lines. You know how Mikey did pretty much all the voiceovers for Insurgency, the first one, and then in Day of Infamy, they started adding more and more voice actors. In Insurgency Sandstorm, you can really tell that there's a variety of voice actors. There's even female characters in the game that do say their female lines, and you have, you know, different languages now too. As you know, Day of Infamy had the German, but yeah, there's a lot of more. There's a lot more detail as far as voiceovers and voice acting is concerned in Insurgency Sandstorm. So it added a whole nother level of depth to the gameplay. It was really cool to hear all the lines. And I'm sure we didn't even get through half of them. So it's really cool to see that company is putting in a lot of work into their, you know, immersion as far as that aspect. All right, so we're going to move on to gameplay. So a couple cool things. We're going to talk about what they've added. So one of the things I noticed that they added were the air support call-ins from Day of Infamy. So Insurgency, the first Insurgency, does not have air support call-ins. New World then made Day of Infamy, which has the officer and radio man mechanic, which means that the commander can move up to a radio man, use his radio, and call in off-map air assets. So in Insurgency Sandstorm, they essentially took that system and transplanted it into that engine. So, you know, same thing. Both teams have commanders or you know, squad leaders that can use their radio men or radio operators to call in assets. And the assets range anything from chemical mortars, smoke mortars, HE mortars, to A-10 gun runs, helicopter gunship, missile strikes, minigun runs, suicide drones, and a ton more that I didn't actually get to see. Well, that's one thing I regret, is that I did not get to see all of the off-map assets, because it was a demo, and you know, that required a lot of coordination. There's like new people playing the game, but I tried to get as much footage of everything else as possible. Got footage of the different classes, the different guns, the different attachments, and even some vehicle footage for you guys. So you'll see that coming up this next week as I edit through all of it. But yeah, as far as gameplay, that they have added the off-map air assets and artillery assets into Insurgency Sandstorm. Works just like Day of Infamy, so if you played that, you know how that works. It's good because I think it adds a lot bigger sense of scale. It's not just infantry, you do have these air assets, and you can actually shoot down the helicopters now. We didn't get a chance because we were playing Blue 4 the entire time, so we were playing the conventional forces that were on the same side as the helicopters. We didn't actually ever play as the insurgents to shoot down the helicopters, but supposedly you can now shoot them down. One asset that they did add that I don't think they had talked about before, and I saw it in there, and I couldn't believe what had happened, but they actually added suicide bombers, like bots, to actually come and suicide bomb you, in addition to the suicide drones. So that was really cool, because I was seeing this guy charge me, and I hadn't heard anything about the suicide drones, because they hadn't released anything about the suicide bombers. But yeah, they had that in the demo, and that was really cool too. Another thing that they added is apart from the off-map assets and call-ins is the vehicles. I had the opportunity to drive a technical, shoot the heavy gun in the back of the technical, I think it was a Dishka, and then shoot from the passenger side of the vehicle. So you can drive the vehicle. Vehicle driving feels smooth. It feels up to par with Insurgency, so it's not like as simulated of a driving system as, you know, a car game would be, or something like that. It's very smooth, very easy to get into, and easy to drive. The gunning, same thing like that. The turret moves pretty smoothly. It all feels not necessarily dumbed down, but more fluid than a you know, real vehicle would feel like, which is good because it kind of fits in with the whole flow that Insurgency is going for, which is this faster paced tactical shooter. So it's hitting this really close niche in between like simulated stuff and arcade. So it's hitting these nice balances with both the infantry and the vehicle gameplay, right? Because you don't have like full-on Arma simulated combat, but you don't have Call of Duty style fast-paced gameplay. It's like somewhere right in the middle, and it's a little faster paced than I'd say Squad. So, vehicle combat does flow with the infantry gameplay. It feels correct. It feels like it fits. You can blow up the vehicles with small arms and with RPGs and stuff like that. But yeah, so the driving felt good. The gunning in the back felt good. And one thing that I actually really did enjoy was shooting while inside the passenger seat of the vehicle. So you can actually shoot when you're sitting in the passenger seat. You can shoot out the windows, which I love. I love. So many games don't do this, right? So whenever you're shooting it from inside a vehicle, like or whenever you're riding inside a vehicle, whether it be Squad or Postscriptum or all these other games where you're like a passenger of these vehicles, you always want to shoot out, but very few games do let you do that. In Insurgency Sandstorm, they actually allow you to shoot while sitting inside, as well as leaning out the window to shoot out. So there's a lot of flexibility. Once again, they're doing a great job with the controls. Feels fluid, matches the gameplay. It's not clunky. It's really easy to operate. The controls are all there. So it's a great mechanic because it feels really fluid, and I was really happy to see that they would allow you to shoot from not only within the vehicle, but you can lean out the window as well. So that was awesome. Another thing that we're going to talk about is the addition of more weapons and more attachments. So when you'll see my footage going up, I got the chance to play with, they had a Mosin, they had L85, they had the SVD, they had all those conventional, M16s, M4s. They had the Mod 18 back in there. The AKs are back in there. But yeah, the L85 was a new addition. There's a couple other new, I can't remember off the top of my head, a couple of the newer weapons as well. The Uzi was in there, I believe. They had the shotguns in there. Shotguns once again. In Day of Infamy, shotguns were my favorite gun to use, and they're my favorite gun to use again in Insurgency Sandstorm. It's just something so satisfying about using a shotgun in the New World games. It's just so satisfying. But yeah, they added new attachments. There's different scopes. Oh, they added a G36. That was awesome. The G36 was awesome. They also added, like 4 or 5 different new scopes for these weapons, which was cool. So a lot of new attachments. It's not just an Insurgency, rework on the newer engine. They have gone through and added enough guns and weapons. And I'm sure this isn't the final list either, but attachments as well. They have new RPG launchers, new AT launchers as well. So a whole bunch of other things that add on top of the base Insurgency. So it's not just a refresh on the Unreal Engine 4. All right, so we're gonna also talk about the news, right? Now that we've covered pretty much my first impressions as far as graphics, sound, and gameplay go, those are the main things that we want to take away from the E3 show. Once again, everything is still in alpha, and things are subject to be added, changed, removed, a whole bunch of stuff before it gets released. I know the beta, they said they're really close to beta. They want to push out the beta soon, so hopefully, you guys will get your hands on that when it comes out. But yeah, we're going to talk about the news. I covered this earlier in my other Insurgency video, but as far as release date, so Insurgency Sandstorm is coming to PC in September of 2018, I believe, somewhere around that time. So pretty soon, like right after summer, we're gonna get our hands on this game. So for PC owners, great. For console, you are gonna wait a little bit into 2019. They do want to flush all the problems out before they move to console, simply because New World has not released a game on console yet, so it's kind of uncharted territory for them. So they're going to delay the console release just a little bit so they can polish it a little bit more, but that's going to be coming to console players in 2019. So if you're looking for a hardcore tactical shooter on the console, and I know there's not a lot, you're just going to have to wait till 2019. I'm sorry, but get the game when it comes out. It's going to be out on PC, so you're going to have a lot of reviews and stuff to see before you get it on console. The next thing I want to talk about is they are continuing mod support on the PC. I'm not sure how that will work on console, if it does work on console. But yeah, they're bringing back modding as far as maps, weapon skins, and all these other things that you can run on custom servers or on your custom client. So awesome to see that they're still continuing that. I think that custom content gives a game so much replayability and so much more uniqueness. And then the final thing we're going to talk about are the couple of discounts you can get. So before Insurgency Sandstorm is even released, there are 2 10% discounts that you guys can pick up. Number one is by pre-ordering Insurgency Sandstorm, which you can do now. At E3, they released the pre-order screen for Steam. So if you want to pick up Insurgency Sandstorm now and get 10% off before it's even released, pre-order it on Steam. It's out for pre-sale on Steam, 10% off. The second 10% discount you can get is by owning the first Insurgency. So if you own the first Insurgency on Steam, you get another 10% off, which is great. It's like a loyalty kind of appreciation thing that they're doing. So you can pick up 2 10% discounts before Insurgency Sandstorm is even released. So go ahead and check out both those discounts. You can get their game on Steam for pre-order. It's out now. They released that screen during E3, so go ahead and check that out. But yeah, a lot more footage from Insurgency Sandstorm to be coming in the next couple of days here, guys. Reminding you that I do have more footage of all the different classes, at least for Blue 4, the different Blue 4 weapons, all the attachments. Got to play around with the marksman kit and everything like that, so you'll be seeing that go up in a little bit here. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe and bell button so you get notified of when those videos do go out, and I'll see you all in the next one.